Welcome back to Abzû. We are now going into chapter 3, and this chapter is where I see it as a little bit of a kind of transitional chapter, and right off the bat that's kind of communicated to us through the use of colour, because the first two chapters had a lot of blues and a lot of greens, and they were sort of natural underwater colours. Like, that's not to say this orangey hue is unnatural, it's just that when you first think of underwater, the sort of first colours that come to your mind are blues and greens, and so that use of colour in those introductory chapters sort of sucks you in a little bit. That's kind of what you think of this as. This is a typical underwater experience being brought to life. Now, by this point though, about 20 minutes into the game, maybe a little bit more if you've been exploring, then you start to see more of the, okay, now this is becoming something of itself. This isn't just a little diving journey anymore. This isn't just like basic aquatic knowledge. This is, we're in here now. We're now gonna soak it in for ourselves. We're gonna have a new experience. This is a fresh experience. This isn't just what we see reported on all the time. This is our own little adventure under the water, and that is just such a special feeling moving forward. But this chapter is where we also see, I guess it's a kind of mechanic coming in, that there are certain doors that have other ways of opening. And I've just got to say, I really like this particular scene where you're swimming against the fish, because that just communicates a message to me that we're not just, going along the line now. We're on a mission. We've got this mission here to go and activate these chains, and that's what this feeling is. It's like now we're in charge of progressing our journey. We're not just being carried along by the fish anymore. We've got to go and open the door. We've got to go to a place where the fish wouldn't naturally go on their own. So we're sort of ascending now. It's basically like we've been introduced to this world, this underwater world, and we got a feel for it. We made ourselves at home, and now it's time to move on to the next level, and we're gonna go see some things for ourselves. And it's just such a I'm gushing again. Every time, like throughout these entire playthrough up to this point so far, every now and then I just start explaining something, and then I just go into, wow, this is so cool. I don't think I've ever had this with a game before. This is quite a strong thing for me to say, but thinking back, all the different kind of games I play, whether that be the super exciting, fast-paced platformers, or whether that be the sort of more narrative games, you think along the lines of, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Until Dawn, those kind of games. They all have their own unique touch on me. They leave me with their own impression, but it's never been this sort of giddy, well, I want to tell everyone about this right now sort of feeling that I'm getting. And this is something that, like, going into this, I wasn't sure how well this particular playthrough will go down. I was worried that this would be a sort of thing where I wouldn't have anything to talk about, that, like, I'll get halfway through and then I'll just see, like, here's some more fish, and I wouldn't have anything to say, but, like, just the intense emotion that this is throwing over me just looking back at the footage, even like not even playing through the game, but just looking at it draws back all these like feelings of amazement. It's something really special. And going back to the use of colour there, that's something else that I like, that not only have we shifted colour scheme, but now we're in these different stages. We started off with orange in this chapter, and now we did the first little mission of opening that first door, and then we went into that room that's like that harsher red, that more rich red, and now we've basically graduated beyond that. Now we've done the red section, if you like, so now we've got this extra level of familiarity. And is that our friend the shark that we saw a little while ago? I think it might have been. I like that shark. I like that we have him as a reoccurring character, I guess, and he's a bit of a character. We have only sort of seen him in passing now, but we will get to spend a bit more time with the shark, because that's something that I think works well here, having the shark as the recurring character, because you sort of see all the other fish, and there's lots of the other fish. There's lots of tiny little fish, like in all their different species and all their different colours. But the great white, he's so much bigger than a lot of them. Like, he's not the biggest fish in the game, but he's bigger than most of the ones we've casually encountered. But alongside that, he is so magnificent. Like, sharks have this kind of aura about them. We know them as sea creatures that humans tend to be scared of. And that's kind of understandable, because shark attacks are a thing that happen. People see a shark and they worry they're going to get eaten, and they want to get away from the shark as much as possible. But the fact that we've not been too fussed about him, even after we saw him attack that torch earlier on, our diver dude, he doesn't seem too fazed by the fact there's a shark here. And that kind of does raise some questions about the diver. Like, is he just open-minded? Does he want to give the shark the benefit of the doubt? Does he want to be friends with the shark, like he's become friends with all these other sea creatures that he's swum alongside? It just kind of brings a lot of ideas to mind, and like, the shark is a very good character to have around, I think. And these sections here have sort of a theme of rebirth that I'm picking up. Because you've noticed whenever we've gone into these little sections, they've been really dark and grey and black, and everything looked like it was dead and there wasn't any life here. But we go down, we interact with this thing underwater that we don't know what it is. We don't know what that is. Like, the game doesn't explicitly tell us what that is. But we go down there, we do that, and then everything comes back to life, and it's like we've become a positive impact on this underwater area. And this area here is where the whole transitional vibe comes into play. This is a place that has a lot of artwork on the walls, a lot of things for us to interact with there, and we haven't seen any other people here. But there clearly have been people here, and because this is all man-made. This is human art. Humans or a human-like species have been under here. And I guess we kind of saw that with the door as well, that like, there were these big chains and gates and that certain sections segmented off. So what are we really doing? Are we revisiting where maybe ancestors have been, like maybe earlier humans have been? Are we actually undoing mankind's limitations? Because that gate wasn't naturally there. That gate's been put there. Was that arbitrarily put there to restrict the aquatic life's movement, or was that just something that we've basically released the fish, we've liberated them so they can swim around? These are all the sorts of questions that I had in my head at this point in the game. And so I think that that's what I mean when I say the ambiguity works here. It's I'm invested enough in what we do see to want to find out more about what we haven't seen. And that is the perfect balance. But you notice there's another motif that keeps showing up. These sections that we finish the chapters with, these sort of pyramid shapes. We saw them on the wall paintings, didn't we? We saw them on the murals. So what are they? Whatever they are, we're going to swim through them. And I will see you in the next chapter of Abzû. Bye bye for now.